You're listening to WP Living with a vlog about WordPress archives. I want to talk about the state of WordPress archives. And this is my point. I think WordPress archives are in a state of utter disarray, neglected, unused, unimaginative, a turn-off pretty much across most new WordPress themes. Too little attention is given to archives. And now let me say, before getting into that argument, let me say a little bit about why I think archives are important. The image you're looking at right now is a generic image of an archive in the traditional sense. What is an archive in the traditional sense? It's a repository of documents. Documents that have accrued some value over their lifespan, enough that they're deemed worthy of being preserved. And so an archive, loosely speaking, or generally speaking, is a collection of material that has been taken out of general circulation and that now exists for preservation purposes in a secluded area, often with research access, but usually only by people who are specialists in that field. So it's a special collection. That's another way of looking at it. So what does it mean? It means that this content within the archive is worth keeping. It has value, and the same idea should be and can be applied to WordPress. I'm on the front page of the 2011 theme, which is the default theme that comes with all new installations of WordPress. It's built by Automatic and it's part of the mothership, if you like, of WordPress. I think it's quite telling that there is no archives template with this theme. There are archives built into it, and you can see here on the side, if we click on October, we get a list of posts from that month. But we don't have a template to organize archives. And I think this is a general rule across most WordPress themes. Not all, but many. I think the majority. Some people are doing some imaginative things with archives. But the problem is, the general problem is, that the same idea of this image of a repository of information, of documents, the same image lingers and haunts us online. We haven't really wrapped our heads around the way we get into retrieving data from the past, even digital data online. It's a big problem. Websites are generating so much information that how do you actually go about organizing all that data from the past? It's easy to organize data in the present or data very close to us, like the last 10 posts of a WordPress blog. That's simple. But when we're talking about hundreds of pages of content, each with different themes and keywords and tags and images and videos and so on and so forth, how do you devise a system that allows your audience a way in that is as easy, as intuitive and instinctive as the front page of a WordPress theme, for example? And that's an area that I really strongly urge any developer or designer or anyone involved in the creative sense in WordPress. I urge you to think about that. And I want to, before ending this video, just to highlight a couple of websites that show glimpses of something interesting when it comes to the possibilities of digital archives and WordPress. The first is Woo Themes, and I'm looking at a theme here called Drawer. And look at the sidebar. I just want to highlight this widget, this section of the sidebar. In the main page, you can see there's a search box, and then below that there is basically a series of filters to filter the content within this theme. You can order the posts by most recent, most commented, last modified, alphabetical. You can do descending or ascending order. You can also do it by category, and you can choose the number of posts you want to show. Now, this little widget goes quite a long way to changing the way you interact with posts, changing the perception of what lies underneath a blog or a website, that there is a depth of content and that it is accessible. But it doesn't go far enough. It still remains at the surface level, as a series of filters, of words, of tags, of buttons. It doesn't bring out the kind of intuition and interactivity we need to bring archival material alive, to make it interesting, to make people spend time on your site and go back into it. Another little glimpse of interest or innovation is the Elegant Themes built-in advanced search box. This is something that Elegant Themes deploys across all their WordPress themes, and it's a separate module. And you can see it's very similar it shares ideas with what Woo Themes were doing here. It's an advanced search box where you can filter by posts, pages, month, and category. And this, sadly, is not integrated, on the other hand, into the actual main theme design. It remains, once again, kind of segregated, separated on its own page, and isolated from the general content. And I think that's a bit of a metaphor for the state of archives in WordPress and the state of archives on the web in general, that they tend to be isolated and people don't pay attention to them because there's no interest in the design side, in the development side, and there needs to be more interest. Final point is I'm looking at a theme called Volumes by Themezilla, and they do include in this theme an archives template, and it really is quite a simple one, more of a traditional one where they list the posts, the last 30 posts, the archives by month, and then by subject. And all they've done is add a little graphic at the side here that expands and retracts as the list grows or it's diminished, to just highlight the fact that there is content here. And it's a little glimpse, once again, of something that could really grow if someone put the effort into designing usability and archives and devising new ways of accessing archival content, showcasing it, bringing it back into the mainstream of content. Those are my thoughts about archives. This is really a plea to the WordPress design community in general to do more for archives, think more about them, and be more creative with them. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more to come. Please subscribe if you like the videos to YouTube, and catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest, and I'll see you next time. Bye.